Eddie? Where has he gone to? When did he get lost?
Welcome to Pantheon. We got a great show for you this week. I'm Rake. Here's my buddy Lynx on the side. We're missing Eddie. We don't know where he is. He's lost in the world somewhere.
He's
we can't
out
find
there.
him. Maybe you can help. Help us find Eddie. Like and subscribe below.
That'll bring him
This-
back home.
That'll get us. That'll find him. Bring him home from the sea that he's lost in.
We need little breadcrumbs, but thumbs ups and subs and follows.
We do. More likes, more subscribes, get us Eddie back. So, starting off hot on this week. Savanya had some interactions this week on Discord with the community. So did many of the other developers. And we're going to kind of address that a little bit. And Savanya's first question, very appropriate. What first inspired you to follow and or support Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen? Lynx, how did you hear about Pantheon? What made you follow this crazy game?
You know what? It's been so many years. I don't remember exactly where I first heard about it. Probably through the grapevine, gamers talking to gamers.
Yeah, of course.
I was probably playing some form of EverQuest at the time. I heard about it, and then I found out I could be a supporter. I went and bought a supporter package. I didn't think I went through any of the fundraising versions that they had, like
Right.
what was it called that they used to originally raise money for?
I don't know.
Anyways, one of those options. I didn't go through that. I waited until they had their own website at the time, and I think I went with like a $300 package. It was a reward to myself for quitting smoking cigarettes. It's
Right.
been 10 plus years. So thank you, Pantheon. Then I invested back then, and I wanted to have at least access to, I believe at the time they offered the package, came with a special ring, access to Founders Alcove or something like that, like a special meeting place for certain tiers to meet up in the game, and your name in the credits. That's what really sold me. I wanted to have my name in the credits. I wanted to go down in history with the game. That got me really excited.
Is that what got you excited? That's what really got it, was
That's
the fact
probably-
that you get your name in your credits. And
If
you're
I
like,
could have put
"Hey!"
my name in the credits for EverQuest, hands down, I would have done it.
Yeah.
Amazing. If I could have been a part of Dungeons and Dragons when it first came out, I would have done it. I saw this opportunity and I saw a chance to support something and also help myself get off of cigarettes.
Yeah.
It was a win-win-win.
Win-win. Absolutely. Absolutely.
shot.
It's what gets us all up out of the bed in the morning.
Yeah.
But-
So I've been following the whole process and the ups and downs, and I finally got a chance a little bit late into Alpha, even though I had Alpha access. I did join then. I played my Monk the first time, and then I started again last season, played Monk, and now I'm playing Rogue. So that's where I'm at.
Awesome.
What about you?
I think that I really got excited about it for the first time way back in EverQuest, because everybody was talking about this rumor mill of this new sequel to EverQuest that's coming out. We're all going to be on this game together and this and that. Years and years went by. I'd basically forgotten that Pantheon existed. And a friend of mine reached out once they went into early access and said, "Hey, dude, this game's coming out. Why don't we check this out again?" And I said, $40, no subscription fee per month. Why not try it? And I think what really got me to kind of support it afterwards was that they're making a game that the other studios don't want to make. It's a fresh look at an MMO, a type of game that a lot of us grew up on, cut our teeth really on gaming, and they're bringing it back. They're bringing us something that's not just like a rehash version of the same old game we've all played 100 times. It's not a private emulator or something like that. It's a brand new, fresh game, So I think that that's really what made me excited about it, is the fact that it's a new game from a small studio, and it's not an EverQuest clone, but that it's an independent studio, and it's not just we're not just giving our money over to these $1 trillion companies over and over, and they don't care what kind of game we make. They want us to. It's VR, at least seems like they want to make a game for gamers.
I think a lot of people also forget that it's an independent studio.
Yeah.
It's not like they were established or they were formed in other companies. They're just a combination of folks that had a similar interest and they were hired on, and they're trying to make something happen.
Yeah. And I think there's a little bit of a give and take here as well, because a lot of the studios out there, like, they're always trying to push stuff on you that the players either don't want. And it's not like VR is completely sinless in that regard, but I feel like they're reacting to the community more. They're more engaged, especially as of lately with all this new Ashbreathers content that's coming out in a day or two, as well as that already came out a few months ago.
Part
So,
2 of that
yeah,
content.
yeah, big deals coming out.
I've been honestly absent for a little bit because I kind of ran out of things to do. It's been causing a bit of rift even amongst our guildmates, so I apologize. I'm here, guys. I'm still wanting to play. I've just been occupied, but this will bring me back for sure. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I think we all are.
I think everyone's going to be excited.
Absolutely. And we have some messages here from our captain and king, Joppa, where he talks a lot about things that we have been kind of waiting for a little while. And as he says at the very last sentence there, that we've also opened the door to deeper connection with the living, breathing history of Terminus. And I feel like this part 2 of the Ashbreathers is going to start offering us more lore tidbits, these little like Easter eggs and stuff like that are going to be cropping up, and we'll be able to find who were the Ashbreathers, what was their role in the Deicide War altogether. And that kind of leads us to a segment that we're doing as a podcast, is we're going to be doing a whole lore series on all the races, the classes, the locations, major events like the Deicide War and the Ravaging King and the Revenants, all the way up over to the War Mages and the High Immortals from Dissension. We're going to cover it all. And I think that this is a great time for us to kind of start doing that, especially with this release of how they're doing with the new lore for Terminus. And Lynx, I know you're not a huge lore guy, but I think that even you want to start seeing more story, right?
I would like to get more into it. I'll be honest, I haven't really followed a lot of the lore, but I would like to fall into that. I would like to get caught up in the story and be a part of it. But I know that in Pantheon, you're not necessarily the hero. You're
right.
You can probably explain it better, because I know you're much more in depth and knowledgeable about the lore. I tend to listen to you or some other folks who talk about the lore, and I get interested, but I don't know enough to follow it or really give input. But maybe you can try to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so there's they're using a lot of storytelling mechanisms here, and we will get into that more on our next show with our new special guest. Stay tuned for that. Big boy coming along. But I do think that the lore is delivered in a bit of a smallish way right now. It's hard to really discern what happened in the world of Terminus by playing the game. You kind of have to go to the website and read a bit and stuff. It's not delivering it from directly from quests and stuff right yet. But I think that this new patch is going to be fixing a lot of that. They're going to be delivering us lore content from quests and from perception pings, I hope, because that's a whole cool system that they've yet to really flesh out.
I like the perception system.
Yeah.
I like where it's going, and I'm really looking forward to that. That'll help me as a person that doesn't really read often, kind of help me catch some information and maybe follow through with it and maybe pick up from there,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. And as you can see here a little bit more from our King Joppa, he is as focused on the lore really as everybody else is. He wants us to have a complete system of the game. And kind of back to your earlier point, Lynx, in terms of being the hero of the game. In games like EverQuest and World of Warcraft, it's almost like everything is designed where you are in a vacuum, where like everybody's getting the same quest, but this quest is saying to you, you're the hero of the town, and yet
you are the one. Don't worry about all them, but it's really all about you.
It's not those 90 other guys behind you. It's just you.
Right. Now, next, go over here, please.
Yeah, so that's really not the way it has in a feel for Pantheon. They're giving you quests, they're giving you lore, but it's like, I'm a citizen in this world, and this is what's unfolding before me. Instead of, it's my responsibility to save the world. If you want to be a berry picker forever, you're welcome to in Pantheon. It's kind of the dichotomy. Do I want to be a hero? Do I want to be a berry picker? Do I want to fish all day?
We still need berries. We still need fish. We still need people crafting and harvesting. You're supporting somehow.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's fun really in every avenue and stuff to really find in that. And I'm excited. I really am. And like Joppa says here, to this end, we relied heavily on the perception system. And based on the feedback we've gotten from players who have explored this area heavily, they think that they've done a great job. And I totally agree with you. And my feedback to you is that we like it. We love the perception system, and we love the way that you're developing out the lore. And we want to see a lot more of that in terms of quests and NPC dialogue, more perception pings, and It's going to be great. I really have a lot of faith that this is going to be really good.
I love discovery. That's
Yes.
what really appeals to me. I like leveling up and seeing progress and learning this and that, but I like to see new things. I like to discover new things. If I can discover it before anybody else, then amazing. That's what keeps me going and exploring things, and it really helps being a stealth class. That really helps me. But I like the fact that they're looking to always engage with their player base, whether it's about content and also rewarding people for their efforts. We put in time and we put in our love and our attention to it. It's only fair that we're rewarded for it.
And this is a good one. We're all very lucky to be able to be playing this. And, you're welcome, Joppa. We are all very happy to be playing this and be a part of this community that we have been invited to and really welcomed into by not just the other players, but the developers as well. You guys are listening to us. You're talking to us. It's all pretty good.
I agree. I'd have to say thank you very much. I appreciate all your efforts and enduring all the slings and arrows that come along with this position. It's not easy to please everybody, and you can't. It's just not possible. But you know what? You're doing your best. We hope you continue to do your best. And it's really good that you guys are still around. And just stay positive. We'll try and stay positive and enjoy the ride with you guys,
Absolutely. And on to the next piece that I know you and I have complained about ad nauseum is fall damage. It is a crazy amount right now. I mean, you're going to tie your shoe and you're going to fall over and take 75% of your health and damage. It's pretty wild.
You don't have time to wait for the lift to go the whole distance. Sometimes you want to just jump off a little early.
Oh, yeah, let's jump off with 6 inches to spare. That shouldn't be 60% of my health. And, I do agree, though, that we need to have fall damage in the game. There has to be some consequence for taking these crazy risks we do.
If we could just bring it down a little smidgen.
Yeah,
a little
just a little
more
bit.
tolerable.
Just a little bit.
I don't have much of a health pool to begin with.
Yeah. And like he says at the last sentence, too much damage at low elevations is really, that's definitely a big problem. We don't want to be taking a lot of damage from jumping off a little cliff. That's all we're going to say about that. Now, this I know you have something to say on.
Oh, look at that. Necros will be getting Feign death.
Yes.
We're still deciding if it'll be tied to a reagent of some kind. That's interesting.
Yep.
What do you think? What would they use?
I think maybe some kind of like soul container, like a phylactery or something that allows them to take on the presence of death, or maybe even something as simple as like a skull or a bone chip or whatever kind of components or something that it might take on. Hopefully it's not a coffin.
Maybe they'll get an ability where they take like a soul or something like that. They'll channel it and take it into and create the reagents. Like Rangers create traps they have to forge.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Maybe they'll have to do some sort of a
like a life
forge.
drain. Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah. Like they got to drain an essence from their opponents and be able to use it later. That could be cool.
My biggest question though is, will it be a cast time, or will it be like the monk? It'll be instant. Yeah. That's huge. If there's a cast time, it could be interrupted. It could be silenced. It could be countered.
Is it going to be a spell even?
Oh.
It might just be an irregular ability that can't be silenced.
Oh, man. Now I'm excited.
And what's the failure rate going to be like? Is it going to be the same as Monk, or is it going to have its own built-in failure like EverQuest's Necros did?
I mean, Monks have come a long way in Pantheon, so if you're complaining about the fail rates still with Monk, you don't know what you've already gotten past. It's already way better right now.
It's way better, but it's still got a little ways to go, especially out of combat. Joppa, we have the solution for you, my friend. Just come on here. We'll take care of everything for you, and we'll get all the information out to the public free.
Agreed.
Just come hang out with us.
We've been discussing streaming. We've talked about it in the past. We're looking forward to it. We're trying to probably decide now what platform we want to go off of, or how many we want to use, or who wants to be taking the lead on that, and who we're going to have as guests, how we're going to interact with our community. And it's probably a really good option for us. We enjoy the podcast, but streaming might be something down the road that we want to entertain.
Yeah. And we're definitely very open to having anybody else on that wants to come on. Now, this is a bit of a more in-depth discussion here, that new armor models and stuff like that, which we're all very, very eager to get. But I think the big discussion here on this document is the concept of a wipe. Now, I know you and I have slightly different opinions on would we want that? Do we not want that? Is it something horrible? Is it something great? I don't know. Why don't you start? You might blow your minds. I'm okay with a wipe. I would actually prefer it. I'm already a 47 rogue. I'm thoroughly well geared. I've grinded out like crazy. I've put in many, many hours. I have a 50 monk on another server.
I don't care. Wipe it all. Clean the slate. I
Okay.
think it would maybe even work in our favor because there's been so much added to the game, and now everyone's levels are so fluctuated. Everyone's just all over the place. Start fresh. Maybe add fresh servers. Wipe it all away. Let us start. We don't lose the knowledge that we left with, right? Our characters lose the progress, but we have the knowledge. We can get it back. It's part of why we play the game, right?
Yeah.
We play to enjoy people's company and experience things. We'll get to experience potentially the new content coming up, which is Black Rose Keep.
Mhm.
On top of, once we get through all that, you'll be about level range to enjoy the Enclave or the trenches at appropriate level.
Sure.
That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But
And it's
you might
valid.
have a lot more to lose because you may have invested more in other things, or you don't want to start over, or you.
Yeah. Well, really, my side of it is that I've got multiple level 40 plus characters with, closing on $2,000 now into the game. And while we always retain the knowledge and the friendships that we've made in the game, what we do lose is our time. And 1,000+ hours on characters to just go away, that does not feel so great, especially when you've really developed this kind of connection to your character, and for it to just kind of suddenly be taken away. I know several of the members in our guild and group people that we group with say that if they lost their level 46 character, they're not coming back. They're done.
Well, are they really supporting the game? They do know this is a test, right? This is still a format to be considered a test, and they're subject to change, and sometimes change means starting over.
Yeah, but I think the idea is that they did tell us they're gonna wipe it. That's of no one's surprise that there's gonna be a wipe. However, we were kind of under the impression that it was gonna be coming a few years down the line. So to be coming, 8 months after release, after you've dumped a lot of time into a character that you've really just wanted to make yours, feels, it feels a certain kind of way about it. And I could kind of understand both sides of the table where it says, well, I'd like to start fresh. But you can always start fresh by making another character without deleting your old one. And at the same time, you also would like to be able to start fresh with not having a huge amount of resources and twink ability.
What about legacy servers? Maybe you can kind of stash your old characters on a legacy server and revisit it and continue from there on. But at least people maybe will have the option to start fresh again.
Yeah, that could be cool. I wouldn't.
Okay with that.
I'd hate to lose my level 40 plus enchanter, my 40 monk, my 40 this and that, and it would be difficult to really just chew that pill. But it is what it is. If you guys got to wipe it, and if that's what you tell us that has to happen for the health of the game and for the be able to progress for the future, I'll stay. But I don't want it to happen in that way, though.
Well, we need more people with you with that same mindset, because I already agree with it. And if you can have your minds changed, if they can just reinforce the fact that it's for the best of the game overall, then that's perfect. Yep. It's great.
Yeah. And really, that's what we try to do everything for, is like the health of the server and the game and everything. Like, we've got dwindling player populations, but if that could be corrected by something where we all having to make a sacrifice, I'm willing. That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
I'm on board.
But I'd like to keep the status quo with my characters.
That's fair.
So yeah, the new part 2 of Ashbreathers comes out in a couple of days. It's not far away now. We're all excited for it, and we will be doing a whole nother podcast all about the actual release of it. New quests we found, new items we might have found, new enemies and things like that, because I know that there's got to be new stuff coming out, and there's almost definitely going to be some grand poobah boss. Probably a dragon. Probably a skull dragon, if I had to guess.
Where would you get that idea?
I don't know. Yeah. So
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I really am. And I'm not exactly sure that this is just Ashbreathers. This is probably going to be a lot of itemization, because as you see, the third bullet point here, stat, weapon, damage, and AC updates of equipment to a cross. That is like everything that they kind of didn't get on the last pass. I have imagined they're probably going to get on this one, and stats are going to be more weightful. Or we're looking at a big change coming in a couple of days.
Oh, so man, it might be another rebalance pass that
might be
after that. It
might be it.
But we're here.
We're here for testing. Have to kind of bite down, and hopefully it goes the best. Hopefully it goes good, because a lot of them have gone really good. Sometimes characters and classes don't end up where we want them, but in the end, I think that it probably will. Like, for instance, the enhancements to Monk and Ranger. Monk's not in a good place right now. Not at all. But
You don't think
it
so?
could be in a couple of days. Not right now, no.
No,
but
I mean,
it
you
could
had
be.
you had the most recent experience with the monk, even with our guild.
Yeah. I mean, not to be too critical on it, but a level 40 Monk does the damage of a level 5 Ranger.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
it's hard. It's hard
Okay.
to really justify playing it at that point.
What about the ranger? Oh, that'll bring Eddie back. Maybe he'll find his way back when he hears about the
Hey,
changes.
yeah, maybe he'll find his way back here.
Eddie, we got some big stuff coming for you. You're gonna have skills up to level 40 apparently, along with the monk. So that'll be nice for all those classes out there. Or sorry, all the other players that want to play those classes. You'll have to look forward to that. They're also going to be updating stats, weapon damage. Yeah, I like that. AC updates. Is that going to be a nice thing for the tanks? Is this going to affect the mobs? Do you think they'll get a pass over too?
I don't know. Genuinely, I have no idea how this is going to affect. I think this is meant for players, but it could just be both. You know?
Interesting. Also, there's the next step: mana regen. I've never played a class that uses mana. How do you feel about that, Rick? I know you have classes that use mana.
I'm hesitant that this means that they want to slow mana regeneration rate to slow the pace of the game down altogether.
Oh,
so
you think they're trying to slow it a bit?
Well, they want to slow the pace of the game down, and what easier way to do that than reduce the healer's mana? I mean, you slow the mana regen of the healer, the whole group stops. So it's an easy way. You know, I have no idea.
Okay, I was wondering. I wondered about that because in the same thing is that they claim that they're going to alter armor class, weapon damage for all classes and level ranges. It's going to be improved and the performance and the availability of these stat gears across all level ranges, but yet they're going to nerf the mana. So are they trying to find an equilibrium, like a balance?
Oh, okay.
Right? Are they giving more attention to the melee types and reminding the casters that you're not the only ones here, you know?
Yeah, I'd like to see more love to the melees, particularly like monks and rogues and rangers, because they're not in bad places, rogues and rangers, but they could use a little bit of an uptick, I think, compared to like you play a high level rogue. I mean, you know that you're really not going to be able to compete directly with a wizard. And
no.
They're not the same class type and role. Wizards really just damage, whereas you've got control and stuff. But you should be, I think, a little closer. Instead of doing 60% of the damage of a wizard, you should probably be doing like 80.
I mean, I wouldn't say no, but I kind of have to wait for them to run out of mana, to be honest, for me to actually shine.
Yeah,
it's difficult, but I'm accepting of it. It's my role. I know my space. I know my place.
Yeah, and that leads us to a segment we're going to be talking about next week. We have a very special guest on next week. That is a surprise. We won't mention who it is yet, but he will be joining us, and we will be dropping a few hints on things that might be happening in the future and a special book. So, just to recap, help us please find Eddie. We don't know where in the world he is. Also, like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know what you think. Is this patch going to be great? Do you want to reset on the server? Like the whole game? Do you want a full wipe? Do you want to lose your characters? Do you think it'd be fun? I mean, I could be convinced either way. You know?
Are you guys still on the fence about even trying it for the first time?
Yeah.
I know there might be a couple of you out there that are just still not sure where they want to go with this. Do they want to wait till the game is live and things are done? You should just jump in now. I'm telling you, the water's fine.
Yeah. And it's just getting better and better and better. And especially since we got Ashbreathers 2 coming out in a couple of days, and we got Black Rose in like maybe a month, 6 weeks or something like that. It's going to be soon.
That's so soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might have to make an alt.
And then there's the Underwater Zone coming soon. We'll keep a little tight lips on that, though.
Underwater Zone.
Yeah.
We'll have to save that.
Yeah, we'll have to save that for special times. But thank you, everybody. This has been another great time to share with you. We hope to see you all soon in the game. Always stop by, say hello. We're on Vales of Azeris. I'm Rake. We're on the Dizak Imperials. Anytime you want to come group with us, hang out, say hi, feel free to stop by.
Come on over. I'm Lynx. Thanks for hanging out. We'll say bye on behalf of Eddie / Elwood.
Yeah. Thank you.
See you again next time, guys.